Speaking about guys being dead, Bill Nesbitt writes to me to tell me that he's not. He said, I heard your comments on the massive crowds at the DIY centres yesterday. We were talking yesterday about the fact that so many people were assembling at the DIY and budget centres, and that it is a disgrace and it should be stopped, especially when all the men were wearing jumpers and all the women had their arms folded and all the men were... I could see this from the outside. I didn't go in. I knew... as a matter of fact, what happened was I was driving past it, you see, and I was amazed. I thought there was an accident or something. Do you know where you look and you see everybody running about and you think there's something wrong? And I looked and there was all this activity and I really thought there was something exciting going on. So I drove in. I realised it was just people going to look at things. Men with jumpers, women with arms folded, and they all went in and looked at things and nobody bought anything. I think they don't buy anything on bank holidays because they feel as if they're not allowed to. But they look at things in the bank holiday, then they decide to buy it later on when nobody's looking. And they buy things like lawnmowers and things like that. Yeah, and Bill Nesbitt mentions the buzzing of lawnmowers. It's starting already. It's the start of the annual onset of gardening fever. I was talking to somebody the other day and she asked me, did I know who Charlie Dimmock was? And I said, wasn't that the fellow who used to present Sports for you in 1958? And apparently not. Apparently Charlie Dimmock is a man with a chest. Do you know who Charlie Dimmock is?
Never heard of it, no, but...
Did he not present Sports for you?
No, it's Peter.
Peter Dimmock?
Maybe Peter with a moustache.
Well, apparently this is a girl and she doesn't have a moustache, but apparently she does this gardening program, and I went to the trouble of reading up about her. Apparently she does a lot of leaning over, pruning her dahlias, and she doesn't wear a brassiere. Do you know what this means, don't you? You don't like this sort of thing?
No, I don't like this sort of thing. I don't like gardening either.
Well, there's two things you don't like. You don't like women's,
No.
and you don't like gardening.
I don't.
But I'm going to talk about two of them that are put together. Now, this young lady, Charlie Dimmock, now I don't watch any of those makeover programs, docu-soaps, or anything like that, or gardening programs, or Builders, Here Comes the Builders, or Here Comes Carol Smiley to Wreck Your Room, and Here Comes Her to Smile at You.
Do you know anyone who watches them?
I don't know anyone who watches them.
Do you ever hear anyone on a pub or anyone saying, I was watching, do you know how to do it? I was watching on television and there's a lovely handy hit and somebody shows you.
No.
Nobody ever knows.
I've never, ever met anyone who watches any of those programs.
No.
See if four men ever run up my driveway and say, we're going to transform your house. You know what I'm going to say?
Hit them.
I'm going to say, listen, lads, here's a flamethrower.
Aye.
I would like to show you how it works.
Yes.
And that would be the end of that. But anyway, this girl, Charlie Dimmock, and I've been told about her.
I mean, I've been watching Blue Peter for years and years and years. Like yourself, I'm sure. Did you ever make anything that they showed you in Blue Peter? Did you ever, when they take you out to the garden, the Blue Peter garden, and they really simplify things? They show you how they put in wee beds and wee places for your goldfish. Did you ever try to make a goldfish pond?
Well, I had a goldfish that it lived in a tin of Brasso for
a Brasso tin.
Yeah, it lived there for about 2-3 seconds. But then they told me later I should have took the Brasso out.
Yes,
it's very hard to swim through Brasso.
But did you ever make anything at all?
No, never.
Shoot you in television?
And I don't know anyone who ever watches any of those makeup, building, or I don't know anyone who watches any of those shows. BBC, they should wise up. They
and this
really
throwing up pancakes.
And people getting married in Jamaica. You don't care.
No, you don't.
You don't care about anything. But anyway, I was talking to someone the other day about this girl. And apparently what this girl does, apparently she doesn't do anything special, but all she does that's special that makes her program so popular is that she doesn't wear a bra.
But sure,
but she wears a top.
Right.
And she gets the trowel, you see, and she puts the legs apart and she says, now let's tackle these spuds. And she gets...
Gerry wants to talk to you in one.
And she leans over. Right. And, there's...
I know.
All over them. And apparently this is the reason why people are watching it. And I said to myself, is this a reason to watch a gardening program because a woman doesn't wear a bra? I mean, is this the... And so I watched it the other night, and I said to myself...
What am I doing watching this?
You can see that anywhere.
That's right.
I've got some requests and dedications here. A lady from Belfast, 5 foot tall. She likes the programme. That's okay. We have nothing against small people. After all, small people have every reason to live. I was just curious as to whether or not some of the people who abuse me are of short stature. Because short people have no reason to live. That's a song in there somewhere. Born in Belfast, please play... No, I don't want to upset people of diminished stature. I don't want to upset them at all. But I'm just saying that I've noticed a tendency... Sometimes people who don't like people in this programme, namely me, because I'm the only one really that they don't like, they tend to be short. The only tall person who doesn't like me is Gerry Kelly. And I think he secretly likes me.
Well, I don't think Liam Neeson has much love for you. No, he ignored you.
No, he didn't ignore me. Let me, Sean, let me say quite unequivocally.
Right.
Let me say that Liam Neeson struck me as being a very nice guy.
I don't think...
no.
Paddy O'Flaherty likes you.
No, I don't think so either. No. I don't know.
He's
why.
quite tall. Paddy's tall. Walter, would there be any love between you and Walter? Walter's
There's a lot of
tallish.
love between Walter and I.
There would be. Walter would have a wee soft spot for you.
I tell you the people I like.
Yeah, and
like-
John. What about John Bennett?
I like John Bennett.
I think it's forced, that relationship.
No. Let me just say this. Myself and John Bennett happened to be sitting beside each other during the course of, actually this night last week in London, the Grosvenor Hotel.
Yeah.
The Sunny Music Awards.
That's the event that I wasn't invited to.
There was no seat for you.
Yeah.
The Sony Radio Awards. I was sitting beside John Bennett. And I've always had the greatest respect for John.
I know.
And I like John a lot.
Did he
because, you know,
talk to you?
Of course he did.
Was he civil to you?
Of course he was.
Was he? Was the conversation flowing, or were you making the conversation?
You mean, was it stilted?
Yeah.
No, there was no cheese.
All right. Okay.
No, John and I have always got on very well.
Did he address you by your first name? Did he say Gerry?
Yes, he did. And I called him John.
All right.
And we've always got on well, and I've always liked John. I like him. Now, I like Walter.
Yeah.
I'm worried about Hugo because Hugo says I don't like him.
Yeah.
And that's only because Hugo's paranoid.
Well,
But I like Hugo. You see, but he doesn't understand that I like him. You see, but that's why I don't like him.
What about George? How do you get on with George?
Look at the time it is. Look, it's
Yeah.
nearly 22 minutes past 11 o'clock. We'll have to move on here. A caller wants me... So you finished now?
Yes.
Okay.
You started it.
I didn't start.
What's the national flower of Sweden?
I wanted... Pardon?
A lady phones. She's doing a competition. She wants to know what's the national flower of Sweden.
The Swede. Isn't it? Isn't it?
Why didn't I think of that?